Hello and welcome to all my SalesRXers and first-time listeners. I'm your host and your sales doctor, Chet Lovegren, and I'm excited to share some new insights with you today. I want to talk about giving your prospect an out. You ever have a prospect you're working with and everything goes according to plan? Your qualifying call, your consultation or discovery call, the demo and presentation, then you get to pricing and hopefully an agreement gets sent, and then instantaneously everything goes dark. The lights get shut off. Even worse, with all the tools we have for sales and tracking and software, you can see your prospects opening up your emails. They're downloading the attachments you're sending. They're clicking on the links to resources that you're providing, but they're not responding. How disappointing. They loved us. They loved the offering. They loved the pricing. They were a great fit, but they fell off the face of the earth. Well, why don't prospects respond? So there are typically three key reasons that a prospect would not respond after you've worked with them that deep into the process. Number one, and the most unfavorable, they don't trust you or you haven't given them enough value. Number two, they're still in an evaluation process with other companies, whether you know about it or not. And number three, they feel bad they can't make a decision right now. All this time they've spent with you, all this work you've done, and they simply can't say yes. At least 75% of the time, it's the third option. We see it time and time again. We do such a good job of establishing timelines and decision-making authority and keeping something to hold our prospects to that we forget it's a two-way street. Project scopes change, timelines can be bent, priorities can shift. I mean, remember the last time you wanted to switch your car insurance? You said you were going to do it in April, but didn't even start thinking about it until May. It's been almost a year now and you're still shopping for life insurance. Stuff happens. So that said, let's look into our process and how we can help keep an open line of communication with our prospects all the way down to the wire. I call this giving your prospect an out, and it begins once you've established your timelines. The timelines can be as simple as how soon they need a solution like this in place, or it could be as detailed as finding out how long they've looked for a solution, how soon they need a solution, how soon they want to make a decision on a solution, and how soon they expect it to be operating day to day in their business. Now, whether this is the end of a qualifying call or a consultation or discovery call, there's a very simple talk track to help you keep an open line of dialogue with your prospect. It goes like this. Prospect, based on your timeline, considering our evaluation process and implementation, I'm going to have my team move at a speed and pace that's relevant to you. That said, it's only human nature that both of us will get busy at some point, and we won't be able to meet a deadline. So don't be afraid to tell me no. If something comes up and you have to reschedule a meeting, or we have to push something back, or things get delayed, I understand things come up, and I don't want you to be afraid to tell me no. That way, both of us avoid becoming a pest with follow-up, and we can work on this project together accordingly. Does that sound fair? Now, I love this segue because it does a great job of allowing your prospect a future out. It ensures that if things don't go the way that you expected, you're going to get closure. It also sets a great expectation of the timeline and the speed at which things are going to move. You have to put the ball in their court while also setting the standard and justifying the reason for your future actions. This gains firm commitment, but also takes all the pressure off the buyer for having to make tough decisions when they aren't ready. If they suddenly experience a roadblock in their buying cycle, the last thing you want to be is another obstacle. Before I started adapting this talk track into my sales process, I once had a prospect ghost me for 4 months. We were a perfect fit. He loved the product, he loved us, he loved our pricing, and he loved the idea of a potential partnership with us. There was not a single objection throughout the whole process. That said, when we were just 2 months past his go-live date, I was sitting here going, what the hell happened? When we finally connected nearly a month later, I learned a few key things that would stop any buying process. Number one, they had just implemented a CRM software, and they were in the process of training and adopting that into their day-to-day process in a facet of the business that was more important and had a higher priority than the facet of the business we were working in. Number two, they had just finished moving their office all the way across town. And number three, they were currently in the process of hiring a systems analyst to strictly handle the software that we were working on implementing. Now, sometimes people can be a little premature on shopping, and they don't typically have a blank check. So that means you can expect deals to stall. But with that buy-in, had I given him that earlier out in the process, I probably would have found out about one of those key 3 factors ahead of time. So with this concept in play, you can say goodbye to stalled deals, prospects ghosting you after pricing, and dead opportunities that go radio silent for months on end. It's all about setting that line of dialogue and that commitment that, hey, if we both get busy, let's just agree to keep each other involved. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to listen to the podcast. Don't forget to stop by our LinkedIn page, like us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and feel free to poke your head into the DMs and ask a valuable question you need an answer to. In the meantime, keep positioning, keep developing, and we'll see you on the next one.